I went viral in Ecuador because I was rejected as Spider-Man. How do you reject Spider-Man? But that's not all there is to this story. In fact, there's a lot we have to talk about. I'll even show you the video where I got rejected at the end of this video. So let's get into it. So this all happened 4 days from the time of this recording, and it was a normal day, other than the fact that I was going to the shopping in a Spider-Man outfit to go ask out a girl. Leaving that out, totally normal day. So after I got dressed up, hit up my friend because he was gonna be the one who would carry the poster that says, "Do you wanna be my girlfriend?" And about 15 minutes before the time that we had to meet, I headed over to the shopping. Obviously on my way there, I got a few strange stares because I was wearing my Spider-Man outfit out in the street while driving my motorcycle, but you can't be swinging around all the time. And then when I made it to the shopping, all I had to do was wait. Wait for my friend, wait for the allotted time, and wait to give my super heroic confession. So some things you need to know. Me and the girl had already been going out on dates. We had organized to watch Spider-Man together because we had to watch it together. And I'm a gigantic fan of superheroes, if you couldn't tell. So while I was on my way to the movie theater, there were some people, some kids, who would say, "Hey, it's Spider-Man." And I would just wave at them. And once I made it in front of the movie theater, there she was, waiting. And I decided to bust out the spider moves. I did my amazing spider dance for what seemed like an eternity, and then I signaled to my friend so he could bring the poster over. And he opened it, showed it to her, but she seemed kinda confused. And this is where things clearly went wrong. Apparently she didn't recognize it was me, so I took off my mask and showed her who I was, as well as exposing my identity to everyone who was around. But things went from bad to worse, because she got really upset. She asked me why I did that, she told me I shouldn't have done that, she pointed out and told me that look at all the people who are watching us, and of course, she rejected me. And finally, she left. And I was left there with my friend, sad and suffering. Some people even reached out and said, "Don't worry, it'll be okay." And then of course, I went home. And later on in the day, people started telling me I was in this video that had over like 100,000 views, and now 4 days later, it's at 13 million views. And there was a wide variety of comments, both good and bad. Some people saying they felt bad for me, that they hoped I was okay, that they wanted to give me a hug, that everything was gonna be fine. While other people said what I did was wrong, that I shouldn't have done it that way, that I shouldn't have pressured her, that I was only her best friend, and a ton of other trolly comments. And this would be quite the sad story if it were real. And this is where we get into the other things I wanted to talk about. Did you know an Ecuadorian news source made a post about this video on Facebook? Also, another news page called Cultura Colectiva made a mention of this video on their Facebook page. And I'm over here wondering, isn't there other news you should cover? And you know, people are free to cover whatever they want. But I find it kind of crazy that news sources have the time and resources to cover these kinds of videos while they ignore possible bigger problems going on in the country. Or the fact that they don't cover other things that are more productive for the country. It just seems kind of silly. And I always hear complaints from my Ecuadorian friends talking about that's why we live in a third world country. And sometimes I get where they're coming from, because a lot of strange things that shouldn't happen do happen. And there's also a ton of misinformation here. The video isn't even real. And even if it were, the articles state that I'm her best friend, when that wasn't the case. Because as the person who was actually in on the video, I actually know what I was supposed to be to her. In the script that we had made, I wasn't her best friend. I was someone who had been going out with her a lot, and that's why we had decided to go watch the Spider-Man movie together. I wasn't just her random best friend who asked her out because, oh, I thought it was the right time. There was some buildup before this. And I find it funny, not haha funny, just funny, that a lot of people argue for one side or the other and take a lot of interest in this without making sure that it's actually real. But of course, there are some people who guessed that it wasn't real. But a ton of people, and I mean a ton of people, thought it was real, including friends and family who sent me messages and commented on the post asking me if I was alright, if it was real, telling me not to do anything crazy, telling me that the video had gone viral, and just super concerned in general. So to all my friends and family and the people who reached out, don't worry, I'm fine. When my heart breaks, it breaks in private. And I also want to talk a bit about what made this video so appealing. And it really comes down to a variety of factors. The timing was great. We're talking about a Spider-Man rejection during the first week of the Spider-Man No Way Home release. There were a ton of people in that area. It was something that people could probably relate to. I mean, there was some empathy from the people who were around me when I was leaving. And a lot of people in the comments empathized with both me and her. And that's another thing, controversy. When we talk about controversial subjects, there's always going to be a debate. And the controversy here is confessing my love as Spider-Man was either super sweet or it could be seen as social pressure. Because like I said before, there were a lot of comments of people who supported me, who were concerned if I was okay. While at the same time, there were a lot of comments supporting the girl, saying that what I did was wrong because I tried to pressure her into being my girlfriend. And to be perfectly clear, I don't need to resort to pressuring someone in public to be my girlfriend or get rejected. I can get rejected just fine in private. So once you give people that kind of debate of which one was better, you see people fighting each other in the comments, and people start taking sides. And that generates a lot of interest, which shows that the topic was interesting. And if we go back to the situation with the news outlets, it makes sense why they would cover it. They want things that catch people's attention, even if apparently these things are fake. But they want people to watch. They want people to check it out. And that's why sometimes we'll get more news about these kinds of things that are more for entertainment purposes than we will on things that affect the country as a whole. But I'd really like to know what you think. Did you know the video was fake? Had you even heard about it before? Do you think Spider-Man's confession was romantic and that the girl was a bit harsh in the way that she rejected him? Or do you think it was a type of pressure and that Spider-Man was wrong in trying to do that? What kind of news do you think Ecuadorian news outlets should cover? Make sure to leave your answers in the comments down below and go ahead and check out the video. Peace out.
¿Qué es esto? No entiendo, ¿qué? ¿Qué es? Uy, hasta nervioso. No entiendo, ¿qué es esto? Ay, qué hermoso. No puede ser. Hice la máscara. Hice la
Mi amor, ¿quieres ser tu Spider-Man ha llegado?
¿Por qué haces eso?
Porque yo quise ser tu Spider-Man para la película, para ver la película juntos. Spider-Man con su Spider-Chica.
No tuviste por qué hacer eso, o sea, la verdad es que no me parece.
Pero mira,
Qué vergüenza, mira cómo toda la gente está aquí amontonada y te está mirando, o sea,
pero es nosotros contra él. Mi amor, no te gusta.
no puedo. Qué vergüenza, en serio, lo que estás haciendo ahorita. Qué vergüenza. Qué vergüenza, en serio. Mira cuánta gente está aquí mirando todo.
Para la película, para Spider-Man.